Hello, Gemini and cross watchers. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Hope everyone is doing well. Today we are going to take a look at your As Above, So Below tarot reading for the month of March. In this reading, we will take a look at what to prepare or strengthen, what area to prepare or strengthen, what to embrace, what advice moving forward, what to release this month, and what you can expect moving forward, or moving forward what the new path is going to look like. Okay, please keep in mind, guys, the messages on YouTube are general. That means they're not going to resonate every time with every person. You are more than welcome to check other placements. It's really about the title. If there's something in the title, there's most likely something in the message. Also, energy and time is fluid, so you may find it resonates now. Some may find it resonates later. You'll know if the message is meant for you because you're going to feel it. Okay, it's going to hit you in your feelers. Okay, it may trigger you. It may bring up some memories, cause you to think about certain areas of your life. That means that the message is for you. Even if you're having a trigger like, oh no, not that again, or something along those lines, that's an indicator that they're not necessarily have to entertain that energy, but it may be beneficial to kind of look into that area or that person or that relationship you had at the time you had it, and see if there's any like unresolved feelings. Okay, the reason I do these messages, guys, is to kind of help you along the self-discovery journey. It doesn't mean that you don't know any of the stuff that I'm saying here. It just simply means that you needed somebody to remind you of that. Okay? That's the point of a resonation or resonating. If something is resonating with you, it's bringing up something that you already knew inside of you. I don't look at myself as a person who's giving information by any means. I feel like I'm really just kind of a conduit, a messenger, if you will, to help remind you of things you may have forgotten, or the things that you need reminding of. Okay, so, and I feel like that's what every tarot reader is for, even if that's not what they say. So kind of just take these messages with a grain of salt. Really just try to focus on the emotional aspect. If you're being triggered, there's something that needs to be looked at. Kind of reading between the lines. Also using your intuition, right? We're like in a partnership or like a family here. I'm the messenger and you're the receiver. So however you receive the message is going to be whatever it's meant to be, okay? So that being said, Gemini, let's get started. Gonna do a little blessing before we get into these energies. So please, Spirit, we thank you for the most positive and guiding message for our subscribers. Please allow a clear and concise message to come through for whatever our friends need to hear. Please protect me, the viewer, and the cards from any negative energies. Thank you again, Spirit. Blessed be. So guys, this is the Good Tarot. A lot of readers will use this as an original tarot deck, which it can be used as an original tarot deck. Any deck can be, symbolic of any other tarot deck. But if you read the Good Tarot book, it's kind of like focusing on the positive aspects of the card, which I like. So I really, when I use this deck, and I usually use it as an oracle deck, I like to focus on the messages that the author intended for the card. So let's see here, Gemini, what we can see for you. We're going to tap into these energies around you. We'll pull 3 cards from the Good Tarot, and then we are going to use an original tarot deck to kind of get to the meat of the message. So let's see. Most important message here for Gemini. Please and thank you, Spirit. What does Gemini need to see for the month of March? Well, that's a very positive first card. The Sun card. Okay, so in original tarot, this is like abundance. It's like success. A lot of people will say this is the most positive or happiest card in the deck. It is definitely up there as one of the higher vibrating cards. So, transformation. This is the death card, the death energy in original tarot. Transformation is a tricky one, Gemini. It's a tricky one. I feel like it's talking about the changes that you've really been going through. Okay, so what I see here, Gemini, is the Sun, transformation, Two of Water, and the Hermit on the bottom of the deck. I feel like there's big changes right now, a lot of big changes within your life. I feel like what this reading here is focusing on, Gemini, is your perspective on relationships, or how you look at relationships, how you view relationships, your outlook at partnerships. I feel like, and I do see there's a little bit of, I feel like there's a little bit of a resistance to this change. But what I'm feeling here, Gemini, is you've been approaching relationships a little bit naively and trusting more than you probably should have, putting more effort than should have been had. I'm seeing like a person who's I'm giving a lot. I just heard that. So I feel like you're giving, you were in a relationship, or as you presented yourself in relationships, was a giver. Okay, maybe you were always giving gifts, or trying to give your time, maybe always the one sending text messages, always the one calling, always the one reaching out. And I feel like the transformation that's taking place is I feel like you're going to have a more balanced approach in relationships. Now, I don't feel like it should be like a Queen of Swords in reverse or something where you're kind of like cold as ice, okay? But I do feel like there needs to be a give and take. I also want to touch on, I'm being inclined to say, Gemini, they're telling me to tell you to not give so many chances. However that resonates with you, stop giving so many chances. Believe a person the first time they show you who they are, believe them. Maya Angelou. I will give credit where credit is due. There is a need here to have a limit. Now, I'm not saying only give, I mean, obviously people change and all this stuff. And I feel like that's a Gemini trait. We always want to believe that people are going to change, right? But understanding that there's a process to change. And I feel like now that you've gone through your own transformation, that's what's bringing you to this understanding. With the Hermit on the bottom though, Gem, I do feel like you're kind of keeping to yourself. You're kind of taking a different approach, a more grounded approach, right? Hermit is like Virgo energy. So this is more like a grounded, even though it's a mutable sign. Virgo is definitely earth energy. It's more like grounded, more stable. So let's dive in and see here, Gemini, what we can see for you guys for the month of March. I did do a little pre-shuffle. The camera wasn't really rolling, and I had just felt like I was going to reshuffle and see if the same message came out, but it feels like it's pretty much the same message. There's a need here to kind of change your approach to relationships. So let's see. Most important message here for Gemini, please. And thank you. What does Gemini need to see for the month of March? Please and thank you, Spirit. I'm going to get all the cards out here and then we'll talk about it, and we'll get the clarifying deck out and all that good stuff. So let's see here, Gemini, what we can see for you guys. This is the Two of Wands, right? Two of Wands is like reviewing, looking over the past, right? Seeing maybe the mistakes that you made, where you maybe could have done differently, where you could have acted a certain way, or maybe there's a certain type of relationship that you could have maybe cut loose sooner, held on because you thought it was the one. Dang, where's that Queen of Swords, that cold as ice energy? Okay. All right, so we have the Two of Wands, the High Priestess, the Four of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man is on the bottom of the deck waiting. So, Gemini. The Two of Wands is in the position of what to strengthen or how to strengthen, right? And again, I feel like it's like you're reviewing, you're going over the past, you're seeing where a relationship might have been more of a karmic relationship than it was, you know, there was probably a lot of toxicity within this relationship, okay? Because we have the Devil card and the Two of Cups coming out to clarify this card. So here I feel like this relationship, this situationship that you were in, I feel like it was very toxic, you know, very back and forth, very one-sided. Like I was saying, I feel like you were probably putting a lot of effort into a situation that they were just taking from this. They weren't, I don't feel like this was reciprocal. I don't feel like you guys were reciprocating energies at all, okay? I do feel like you intuitively knew that this wasn't healthy, okay, with the High Priestess, what to embrace, right? You intuitively knew that this wasn't going to work out or that this wasn't your person, but I feel like you kept playing into that. You kept going back to that person, or you kept allowing this person back into your life. And I feel like by going through this review process and by also going through the transformation that you've been going through, Gem, you're understanding that all the times that this person had come back and said they were going to change was too short of a time for them to even have even presented themselves as such. But because you were naive to this, maybe this was one of your first relationships, maybe this was your first relationship, because you didn't really have any more information, you just stayed. I do feel like this is one of the hardest things that you've ever had to go through, is releasing this connection, okay? I also feel like this ending with this person, that it was very traumatic, like a lot of back and forth, a lot of bickering, a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, okay? Maybe that's also how this relationship was. Maybe this person was just very aggressive, or you guys just didn't click. You guys always bunted heads, okay? Polar opposites. But I do feel like there was a lot of lessons that you've learned from this situation. And I do feel with the World card coming out that you're, like I said, you're kind of changing your perspective on relationships. You're changing your perspective, going from being naive and being always the one who was there and ready and presenting yourself and putting your best foot forward all the time and giving. I feel like now moving forward, you're going to be more balanced. You're going to have a more balanced approach. Not so much withholding all of your energy, but I feel like you're not going to be putting yourself out there as much, right? You're going to be like allowing the person to come towards you as well as reciprocating that, right? So that means that if a person is pursuing you, then you're allowing this person to come to you. But if this person isn't pursuing you, then you're doing your own thing, working on your own business, own career, focused on you. I do feel like you're gaining clarity about this past situation, or something is going to come to light that's going to bring in clarity. Like it's going to bring it all like full cycle. However, I do feel like you're kind of having this aha moment, right? With the Ten of Swords, the world, I feel like that's probably a aha moment. You could consider that an aha moment where you're like, dang, that was a waste. But there were lessons that you've learned here, Gemini. So don't, particularly if that's you, if that is resonating with you about the waste part, don't feel like that. Also, what to release. Let's move forward to the Queen of Swords. This is in the position of what to release. Being so cold. There's a need you need to be open. You need to be open to new relationships or people coming in. I also feel like with the Page of Swords clarifying the Queen of Swords, this is the Spy card. Maybe you need to release spying. I really get the sense here, Gemini. My intuition is telling me, my guides, my spirit, whatever you want to call it, it's telling me that you might think that people are spying on you all the time. Feel like you may always like think that people are watching you. I always feel like do. So, Gemini, even if they are watching you, is there really anything you can do about it? Like, can you stop them? So I feel like by focusing on that, it's kind of a waste of energy. So try not to be so focused on other people, focused on what other people are doing. Like, who cares? Like, yeah, they're watching you. Like, you're great. What do you expect? We're great. What do you expect? Just joking, guys. Geminis have their flaws too. Don't get it twisted, okay? We have to look at everything balanced. I'm a Gemini. I'm a Gemini sun. So I am allowed to say, I know firsthand, Geminis have their good attributes, but they also have those negative attributes. And it is very important, guys, to also, that's the one thing that I'm working on right now. I'm actually may do a video on some shadow work, because there is a need here to accept that shadow side. That's what the Strength card is really about. Accepting that shadow side, right? Another talk for another time. I do feel the Knight of Pentacles is coming out clearing. The Knight of Pentacles. The advice moving forward is slow and steady wins the race. Don't be so quick to jump in and be all gung-ho about a relationship that the other person isn't reciprocating. If you can tell that this person is distant for one reason or another, maybe they have work or whatever the case, you can tell that you're not a first priority, then do not put them as a first priority, is all I'm saying. If they're gung-ho about you and they're ready to take it to the next level and all that stuff, reciprocate. But if they're moving too fast, slow it down. Slow and steady wins the race, okay? I do feel like this is a big, even though this was supposed to be an advice reading, I feel like the main advice here, Gemini, is you need to kind of change your perspective around relationships. And it's not going to be easy because this just comes naturally to an air sign to kind of be that, okay, forgetful kind of energy. They're always like, when something happens, they tend to forget easily or forgive easily. But I feel like, Gemini, that needs to change. That's the part of you that needs to change here. Okay, the Star card with the Ace of Cups. Okay, having a more balanced approach to relationships. So, Gemini, I feel like this is a good solid message coming out for you guys. Let's get the Power Thought card out per usual. I am going to do an extended on this, guys, just for shits and giggles. In the extended, we'll take a little bit deeper look onto how to release this Queen of Swords, cold as ice energy, right? How to kind of open up a little bit more. And we will also take a look at not so much focus on the people of our past, but what steps we're going to take moving forward, right? Where we're going from here, maybe even a potential outcome. And then, as always, we will pull your Soul Truth card over there. So, Gemini, the card that is coming out for your Power Thought move is Life Supports Me. Life created me to be fulfilled. I trust life, and life is always there at every turn. I am safe. So, Gemini, that is the message I have coming out for you guys. Thank you so much for all your love and support. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing the content. You guys are all amazing. Again, if you want to get in on the extended, link is below. Otherwise, thanks again, guys. And I look forward to seeing your beautiful souls again soon. Namaste.